Hello, friends. Apparently, we're live 2 nights in a row, but tonight's going to be a lot more lighthearted. So, hello to everyone out there. How is it going? Hello. Hi, Serenity, Humphrey. How y'all doing? I'm excited for our 90s hip hop home dance party coming up in actually exactly an hour. If you missed yesterday's live, my friend DG, he is a producer and DJ, and he's going to be spinning 90s hip hop live on Instagram in about an hour. And we're going to try to joint stream, I guess, so that you guys who do join will be able to see me dancing around this living room like a complete herb. Because, yeah, it's just meant to be fun. But whatever. If the dual stream crashes or otherwise doesn't work, I do already have his IG linked below in the D box. So make sure you follow him for the dance party because he's the DJ, and that's where we're all going for the tunes tonight in case my end of the stream fails. Hello. Hey, Sade. Thank you, Serenity. Hello. Yeah, 90s party. That's right. AD, you're here early. Let's see. Michael Mathern, we're not talking about unpleasantness tonight. We're not doing it. We did enough of that yesterday, and I've watched the news for today, and I need to get my head away from that. So we're just talking about fun stuff. We're talking about music. We're talking about hip hop. Thank you, Timothy. Yeah, that's right, Fila. Time to party. Hey, everyone. If he plays PM Dawn, he'll get sad, Jewel. Yeah, Ray Ray says hello. He's the DJ. I am not a rapper. No, only in my car or in the shower. But yeah, I have his Instagram already linked below. And if you guys are able to tip your DJ, I've also listed his Venmo information. Any donations are much appreciated. We're very grateful for those. I mean, not we, he, but on his behalf, I'm grateful as well. And in the spirit of 90s hip hop, which is indisputably the golden age of hip hop, it's when hip hop was at its absolute best. I thought we could take a breather from talking about corrupt politicians and the corrupt DNC and the frighteningly real possibility of our future becoming a very dystopian weekend at Biden's reality. I swear I won't be surprised if that joke, since I've made it a few times, I won't be surprised if someone from the Drumpf re-election campaign steals that shit. Because if I do say so myself, it's pretty spot on. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that tonight. We're talking about hip hop, one of, if not the love of my life. And that might be a spoiler for one of my favorite MCs of all time. I just wanted to talk about favorite MCs. I've definitely done the top 5 conversation many times. It's a go-to first date question for me. But I feel like it tells you a lot about a person, like who they pick in their top 5. But I don't think I'm going to limit myself to 5. I kind of have a list here on the side of my screen. So I'm just kind of going through people who tend to come to mind for me when I think about my favorite MCs. And by the way, I was not kidding in the D box. If any of y'all says Drake, you're getting 86. You're getting Das Boot. Get the fuck out of here with that Drake. But yeah, I do need to get out of here by like 7:45 so that we can all have a chance to refresh our beverages if needed, maybe grab a snack before the dance party, which is at 8 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, let's just talk about our goats. Who are our faves, you guys? Andre Barotiki, you can't get a wrench because I don't know you. Maybe in due time, but I don't just hand those out lightly. Tierra Whack, great one, Travis. Rakim, I mean, that's kind of a given one. I agree, Drouse. Rakim, KRS-One, they're a little before my time, to be honest with you. So, like, I know more about them by looking back and kind of getting educated on the true origins of hip hop. So I have an appreciation for them as being inextricably cleaved to hip hop and its history and its importance in our culture, as well as how they've influenced other MCs who I love who came later. But I don't exactly like reach for KRS or Eric B and Rakim albums too tough to like listen to when I'm just at home. Thank you, Kimberly. sharing your government handout with me. Thank you for the Aussie 2.99. Um, I mean, one of my hey Isabel, hey Sade, um, downright get out of here, Dracar lovers. Nice. So yeah, my number one would have to be Biggie. Duh. Common critique with Biggie is that he only had the two albums and he wasn't alive long enough for us to see what many would assume would be an inevitable decline. You know, the longer you're around, it's going to happen sooner or later. They're not always going to be bangers, but I don't frankly give a shit about that. Like the verses we have from Biggie hold up and remain iconic to this day, and in so many ways remain unmatched to this day. And I'm grateful that we do have those two albums. So Biggie's definitely on my Mount Rushmore. Big L, Valivan, another one gone too soon. For sure, for sure. Styles P, yeah. I love that song that Styles P did with Talib. It's like only a couple years old, maybe 2 years old, Never Fight an African. That song slaps so good. Speaking of Talib, on my greatest of all time list, I would be remiss if I didn't, and this is cheating, but I'm going to say Black Star because obviously Yassine, aka Mos Def, and Kweli, they've both done a ton of solo work on account of them being two different people, obviously. So I don't know if I should take two spots or pick just one of them, but I feel like both of them are so important to me. I got to see Black Star live last year, and I told you guys the other night that Kweli said that a new Black Star album is coming, and that gives me my entire life. Like every time I listen to their only album, the one that we have, like I get emotional. It's such an important part of like my childhood and me getting into hip hop, getting into poetry, honestly, because that's what real hip hop is, not this bullshit with fucking Lil Uzi Vert or whoever. Yeah, Sexy Monkey, KRS-One is still like, if you have an opportunity to ever see KRS-One just at a speaking engagement, which he still does frequently. I saw him do one at the California African American Museum like 2 years ago, changed my life. I mean, even aside from the music and the influence that he's had on hip hop and just the knowledge bombs that he teach a KRS-One, like there's a reason he's teach a KRS-One. If you ever have an opportunity to see him speak at an event, please go. Please go. Yes, Cindy. Kweli said new Black Star. I almost fainted. Eve, Lauren Hill. Lauren Hill is on my list, Young Lady in Red. Queen Latifah. I think people forget that Queen Latifah, like, that's how she started. Queen Latifah was a rapper first, for sure. So after Biggie and Black Star, i.e. Kweli and Yassine Bey, aka Mos Def, Black Thought, gotta be on there. Gotta be. I'm not making a list without Black Thought, period. Big L, Big Pun, and Biggie. Not a huge fan of Big Pun personally. I mean, I can appreciate the bangers, but I'm not sitting around listening to Big Pun. Just not. I don't know who that is, Michael. Foxy Brown, poor Foxy apparently has like lost a significant amount of her hearing. Nasty Nas Lindella, yeah, legendary, also from Queens. So I always have to mention Nasty Nas for sure. Also on my list, Guru. Matter of fact, I put up a post on Instagram a couple hours ago, and usually my captions, at least nowadays, like I usually don't even have anything good to say, so I just pull one of my favorite bars from whoever. And today I pulled one from Guru, from The Militia, legendary track. He says, "One of us equals many of us. Disrespect one of us, you'll see plenty of us." That is a fucking bar. It gives me chills every time I hear it to this day. So I use that as my caption. Oh, hey, Cece. I'm only like Bahamadia. Oh, Isabel, you mean Eminem? I mean, my thing with Eminem is I can intellectually acknowledge and respect him as a skilled MC and freestyler, like specifically a battle rapper, you're not going to catch me listening to Eminem ever. I can't. I can't do it. I can't stand his voice. He's been rich for like 20 years. I'm like, why are you still mad? Like, why are you still this mad? I feel like he's just leaned into the fact that he makes music for angry white teenage boys. That's who's listening to Eminem. It's kids who have been told to go to their room and then they slam their door and they say, I hate you, Dad, and then they blast Eminem. That's who he's making music for. No mention of Eminem ever. Oh, Fila, you got blocked because you said the S word. Pharaoh Munch, yes, completely agree. Simon Says, one of the best beats of all time. Simon Says is just one of those beats where your face just gets ugly because it's just so like you're like, I love beats like that. And Pharaoh Munch he's one of the goats for sure. Next on my list, I have Lauryn Hill. I concede, not a huge body of work. Again, we're on someone who has one album after all, but the skills are there. If you've never heard it before, do yourself a favor and just do a search for Lauryn Hill freestyle and you'll thank me later. Trust and believe. Christine Collins and Beastie Boys can get out of my face. I am not a fan of, again, I can objectively, I guess, respect the Beastie Boys, but I can't tell you how many times I've been in my car and I find myself getting increasingly angry out of nowhere for no reason. And I'll realize it's because the Beastie Boys have been playing on the radio for the past 2 minutes and I didn't notice. I hate the Beastie Boys. I hate them. Respect them, but hate them, I guess. Laura embodied the rest of the Fugees. I completely agree. Yep, Serenity, Lauryn Hill was a goat. She's got bars, young lady in red. Could not agree more. Underrated as an MC, in my opinion, Lauryn Hill. Speaking of underrated, Busta Rhymes. I feel like Busta has never gotten his roses. I don't know what it is, but I feel like he's just not in the conversation enough when people talk about the all-time greats because Busta, the way he can switch up his flow, especially when he's doing like the super rapid rap, it's amazing. And his debut on Scenario, holy shit. I mean, what you want to talk about a scene stealer. And even on the last Tribe album, the one that came out after Fife passed away, who also is on my list, by the way, Fife Dog, that verse that Busta has on the 9th track, I usually don't know song titles, to be honest with you. I just listen to the album. I'm not looking at what the track lists are. I think it's called Mobius or something. Busta has a guest verse on that track. And I always love Busta's features with Tribe anyway, but his verse on Mobius is maybe my favorite thing on that whole album. So yet again, Busta coming through. Ghostface Killer, just quietly the most prolific member of the Wu-Tang. Tony Starks has a new album out like every 6 months or something crazy. Ghostface is severely underrated and underappreciated in my opinion. He's just a working rapper. He always has new shit dropping. Love Ghostface. And as long as we're talking about Wu-Tang, love Method Man. Even though he's more of a movie star and actor now. I mean, his verse on Triumph, Meth, is one of the best in hip hop. Kweli did that session the other night on his IG Live where he was just spinning based on best lyrics and like best verses. I can't remember if he played Triumph. He probably did, especially since that song doesn't even have a chorus. It's all verses. But Meth's verse in Triumph is just like, that's maybe your crowning achievement. But he's got plenty. Meth is the man. Next on my list, I have Lil' Kim. I'm sure you guys have probably already mentioned her in this chat that's going a bit quickly. I forgot to look up how to even slow it down before we started. Whoops. Y'all love Method because you all want him in bed. Not me, girl, not me. He said some pretty ignorant things about women with nappy hair like me, so it's not like that. I can separate the art from the artist. Diggable Planets. Yes. COS, it's too bad DMX is loco. It's a shame. But yeah, right, Marshall, Lil Kim. I don't know how much help she got in terms of ghostwriters and whatnot. And I know that I've heard recordings of Biggie coaching her and doing reference tracks for her and things like that. But I don't want to take away from her shine because Lil Kim, in my opinion, has an indelible mark on hip hop history. And there is no Nicki Minaj without Lil Kim. There is no Megan Thee Stallion without Lil Kim. And that's on period. But sticking with female rappers who didn't go the hypersexualized route, although her lyrics raunchy as fuck very often, Missy. So underappreciated, not just as a rapper, but in general. I feel like Missy is one of those people where her songs come on and people are like, oh yeah, Missy, I love her. It's like, you need to remember how much you love Missy every day. Like she's so influential in ways that people don't give her credit for. At one point, my best friend, he surmised that she is as influential on our culture as the Beatles. And at the time he said that, I was just like, I don't know about all that. But realistically, for someone like me, she's probably more influential. I don't think that that's actually that off base a thing to say in terms of how much influence she's had as a producer and as an artist because Missy is so prolific. If you guys don't know, you really should like look up her credits because it's crazy. And I love following her on Instagram too because it's basically always celebrating her dancers and choreography because Missy does have a background in dancing as well. And her appreciation of dance and dancers just makes me love her more because she's just as humble as you could ever imagine for someone with her pedigree. Like it's crazy. Yeah, James. VA all day. We gotta love Missy. She's the best. Yeah, Outcast. I don't know if we talk about Outcast briefly, but yeah, I agree. Andre 3000 and Big Boy repping it for Georgia, repping it for Atlanta, repping it for the Southern rappers, and iconic. If anything, I just miss them. Big Boy has been more active than Andre has since, the Love Below and whatnot. Uh, but Speaker Box slash the Love Below. But yeah, I listened to a podcast with Andre and Rick Rubin probably 3, 4 months ago. It was really good. And he went pretty well in depth about why he's had this creative paralysis. And I relate completely. It just makes me sad because I would love more Outkast. I would love more Andre. I saw Andre at a Whole Foods here in LA, actually not too long before I heard him on that podcast. And I'm not a starstruck person at all. I mean, I worked on talk shows for a good part of my career when I first got out of school. So you get used to seeing like A-list celebrities. Like it's a normal day if you see like Ben Affleck or whoever at work. So I'm not a starstruck person, but there's certain people who I just super admire, and it is harder to leave them the fuck alone. So it took all of my willpower to leave Andre the fuck alone. What makes Badu an MC? Is someone saying Badu is an MC? That's a stretch. That's a stretch. I don't know who's saying Badu should be on the list of greatest MCs. It's so funny. I was my gym friends. We have these conversations all the time, and one of my friends, Pat, he's a Beyonce stan more than me by far, honestly. And I love Beyonce. I'm pretty obsessed with her, but he's like next level. And we were talking about MCs, and he was just like, first of all, Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter, she's been rapping since Bills. I was just like, okay. I mean, I wasn't gonna have the argument. I wasn't gonna have the argument. Like Rihanna rapped on Lemonade. That doesn't make her not Lemonade. I'm thinking of Beyonce's Lemonade on Lemon. Rihanna rapped on a song. That doesn't make her a rapper. Beyonce's rapped 2 or 3 times. That doesn't make her a rapper. Lincoln, I'm not aware of Erica Badu ever rapping, unless I'm just forgetting. COS Slick Rick, he's another one who's legendary, but his flow gets on my nerves. It's just one of those things like Beastie Boys, Eminem, Slick Rick. I can't do it. I can't listen to it. It's too annoying. Like the super, super old school hip hop, like 80s hip hop, where it's that weird like story time flow. I can't fuck with that. It's just like, I went to the store and I saw a girl. Like, I can't. We're not doing it. We're not. Aesop Rock, I fuck with him. Yes. Badu raps, LOL, Google it, shrug emoji. If I remember to, but regardless, not on my list. Lupe, yeah. Lupe slept on. I feel like Lupe's been pretty quiet lately too, though. Azalea needs to stay on her meds, though, Catherine, because she self sabotages routinely. But yeah, 1991 is amazing. Completely agree. I feel like 1991 is slept on. Azalea is very talented, but she sabotages herself. Yep, Mutant Mint. We talked about Big L, another one gone too soon. Valley Vaughn, people dislike Logic because he's corny. I think it's as simple as that. He's just corny. It's like Chance. I used to actually really like Chance, and I don't know what happened, but now and it was even before his "Hey everybody, in case you didn't know, I'm married." Before that album, even before that, it's just like something happened. I was just like, ugh, this guy is just too corny for me. I can't. Marvelous. I don't really do makeup videos. I do get ready with me's, and then I'll do makeup videos on my Patreon, like for them. But people on YouTube don't give a fuck. COS Logic is a rapper. Yeah, Isabel, I was into Chance, and then I got out of Chance. I don't know. I don't know. Missy for sure, Jen. I agree. UGK is one of my favorite songs of all time. Did I have anyone else? Let me get into a couple more modern people because I think the last person I talked about was Missy. Kendrick, duh. Kendrick Lamar, one of the most important MCs in the game right now. I'm always interested and excited to see what Kendrick's going to do next. So he is definitely huge. Trinity says Chance likes to scroll his Twitter feed looking for people to talk shit about that are talking shit about him. He needs a hobby then. Yikes. MOP tribe Black Sheep. Yeah, yeah. New York Chica. I mean, I'm from Queens, so I feel you on that. I miss Fife. I mean, we just had his death anniversary. I believe it was Monday, actually. Sunday or Monday of this week, if I remember correctly, was the death anniversary of Fife Dog. R.I.P. We've lost a lot of good ones. Big L, Guru, Fife Dog, Biggie, Pac. It's sad, man. No Name. I mean, didn't she retire and say she was just going to have a book club or something? Many Trees is definitely up there, Dustin, for favorite Kendrick songs. I mean, I think I like Backseat Freestyle. If you want to get hype, if you're trying to get pumped up for a workout or something, Backseat Freestyle, man. Shit. Schoolboy Q, yeah. Tierra Whack, we talked about her ace, yep. Tierra Whack is probably the other rapper who excites me the most outside of Kendrick and Chica. If you guys aren't aware of Chica, she just dropped her first, I don't know if it's considered an LP or what. It didn't feel like a full album when I listened to it. It felt like one of those more like short albums that seem to be the trend right now. Someone give me a full album, please. But nonetheless, Chica, she got bars and she just did a Tiny Desk concert. I discovered her on Instagram. I think her come up was she did a verse about Kanye after his slavery was a choice remarks, if I remember correctly. It's hard to remember because I've been following her for so long. But if you're not familiar with her, her name is spelled Chika. Girl got bars. I'm so happy to see her coming up. Young M.A. Not the biggest fan personally, but respect. Yeah, Chica is so damn dope. Yeah, Hasmick, I don't really, I mean, I like Ari Lennox in terms of commentary I've seen from her on issues of colorism and things like that, but like I don't really listen to that like new R&B genre that like Summer Walker kind of shit. That's not my thing. Not interested. Oh my god, Kite Kite. Pusha T was on my list. I hadn't gotten to him yet. Yes. And I love, you know how most rappers will, if they're smart, have kind of like a signature thing they do so that even if you don't necessarily recognize their voice, like to me, Guru's voice, he's got my favorite voice, like the actual sound of his voice. He is my all time favorite in terms of his actual intonation. But other rappers will like just come up with little like signature noises, like kind of he does a huh, like for example, Meth, he likes to do that that suck, you know. Um, but Pusha T, yeah, I love that. It's so cool. J Cole is up there. J Cole's up there for sure. Clips, yeah. Yeah, Doja Cat, I barely know like what her music sounds like. I've heard a song or two. Yeah, Pusha T, I mean, ask Drake about getting bodied by Pusha T. Hello? Pusha bodied Drake, Isabel. Bodied him. Your favorite rappers are your friends. Busy and crazy Bone. I gotta be honest with you. Bone Thugs to me just always sounded funny. And especially like with their names, like I was like, what is this? The seven dwarves, like Busy Bone and Sleepy Bone and Grumpy Bone. What the fuck is this? But you know, I recognize their place in hip hop history, but I always thought that they sounded unintentionally funny to me. Rhapsody, yes, for sure. Angel Note, everyone is not sleeping on Lupe. Several people have mentioned Lupe. He's just kind of not active right now, unfortunately. I wish he would. I wish he would make some more music. Just be you, Ty. I think we've got very different tastes because you mentioned something else, and I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. But you know, that's the nice thing about hip hop. There's something for pretty much everyone. 50 Cent. All right. People sleeping on Drake, though? You mean they're sleeping on his ghostwriters, Valley Vaughn? We're not doing it. Tatiana, someone mentioned young MA up thread. Not my cup of tea, but she's legit. I said Chica, Ebony. That was me. Last but not least on my list, I think we've talked about nearly everyone who I had jotted down, but Nicki Minaj. I got problems with her as a person and the way she handles her public beefs and whatnot, and just is so blatantly insecure and not supportive of other rappers most of the time, other women rappers most of the time. And even when she does, it's just like, well, I'm sure this is just a calculated move. It doesn't seem sincere. But if for nothing else, her verse on Monster alone, she bodied everyone else on that track. All three of those men, she bodied them. And there's no doubt that Nikki has pen game. She just has issues. So that's like the bummer because she just again she kind of self sabotages a lot like Azalea Banks, it seems to me. And people are always hyper critical of women in terms of these public snafus and things. So yeah, it's just a shame. It's just a shame. Roxanne Shante, legend. She's got a radio show now. Yep, Queen Latifah. We talked about her. MC Light, Patra. Not the deepest catalog there, but okay. Ice Cube, respect, but not my thing. I respect him. I just don't reach for him when I'm actually looking for music. Nas, love Nasty Nas, Ren DMC, of course. Yeah, Hasmik with Nikki. Like once she completely changed her entire image, I guess, to be on American Idol and whatnot. I was just like, oh, that's what this was. You know, it's just kind of like, okay. And then I think as she's gotten older, again, things are so much harder when you're a woman and with ageism and sexism and misogyny and all that. I think that she is sensitive to all the criticisms and things that she receives in such a public way that it makes things worse for her. Like she exacerbates her own suffering, it seems. Rico Nasty. Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. One of the best people in the what is it? Freshman class of last year. Easily. I agree, Ali Mudd. The self-sabotaging does encourage infighting, and it also perpetuates this myth that there can only be one woman rapper at a time. I love that Meg Thee Stallion isn't entertaining that. Like anytime someone tries to provoke her, where like they'll try to kind of stir the pot by asking her questions in interviews, she's like, no, no, we can all get this money, and I love the way she handles it. Crew, yeah, Wayne. I mean, Wayne has hugely fallen off. I don't think Wayne even cares anymore. I think he maybe has just smoked himself stupid. Who knows? But Wayne's prowess cannot be denied. He's been in the game since he was like a tween, basically. So he's been doing it so long, and some of his work from 5 to 10 years ago is iconic. Say what you will about Wayne, because he's clearly got issues. But some of his tracks off of like the Carter Four and even prior, amazing, amazing. I know she will off of the Carter Four. I know every word to that song. I told you guys I can't remember track names, but I'll remember every lyric to a song. Meg's an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius. Good to know. Alexis, how long has what been up? The live I started at 7. I'm actually going to jump pretty soon though because it's already 7:30. So I want to make sure that we have time to take a break, get a snack, get a drink before we go live on Instagram at 8 for the dance party. Pandandex. Yeah, Lil Wayne. Again, I think he's just done too many things. You know how it is with drugs and in the music industry. I feel like Wayne just went off the deep end. He has enough money, probably, or at least he feels he has enough money. I mean, I imagine his lifestyle is extremely expensive and wasteful. I don't think that he's living below his means, but maybe he's still just earning enough off of his royalties to still collect a huge check every month. I don't know. J. Lee Smith, Brooklyn Zoo is a classic. ODB, pen game, not really, but just presentation and energy, one of a kind. There's never going to be another ODB, even though his son is literally masquerading as him whenever Wu-Tang performs. Young, dirty bastard. I'm not making this up. ODB's son, who is his spitting image, I will say. He looks just like his dad. He does his dad's verses since his dad obviously left us a long time ago. Yeah. Exactly, Tanya. That's what I was saying. Wayne has been in the game so long, and God only knows how long he's been abusing substances at excess and living this life of excess. I mean, it's probably, I don't know how old Wayne is, but he's got to be like 35 at this point, right? Maybe older, maybe even 40. What about Cardi B? Like Aries Star, what about her? That's like the person up there was just like, oh, well, we gotta talk about Drake. No, we don't. I wasn't kidding when I said I would block you. Valley Vaughn, a lot of people are really good at karaoke. Jaden Smith. See, now y'all trolling. I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope to see you guys in our live stream on Instagram in about 25 minutes. It's going to be primarily on the DG's page, so make sure you guys go and follow him so that you can watch it. And ideally, we're going to have the dual stream because I'm at my place, he's at his. And it's just going to be me awkwardly dancing around my apartment with my dog to 90s hip hop. but it should be fun. It's just something to do on a Saturday night since most of us have to stay home anyway and we can't go out and dip it and do it and get it good at the club. But I hope to see you guys over there. Again, if you're able, please do tip your DJ. His Venmo is also listed below. And thanks you guys for hanging out with me and talking hip hop. This was fun. It was a nice change of pace from the depressing and exhausting public health and political issues that we are struggling with right now. So it was nice to kind of take my mind off of that, because even just watching the news today, I was just like, I need to not talk about that, even if it's just for half an hour, 45 minutes. So hopefully I'll see you guys on Instagram, and that's going to do it. But quick reminder, never trust anyone with a Morphe code, which happens to be my favorite lyric from Big L.